In the United States of America, inflation is out of control. In the last couple of years, inflation has reached rates at its highest in the last 40 years, as you can see from the graph. Because of this, costs of everyday goods such as groceries, such as things you buy off Amazon, such as cars, have all gone up, making financial wellness very challenging. On top of this, interest rates in every avenue are soaring up, starting from the federal rate. Because of this, being a college student can be very challenging as you're trying to balance school, work, and financial fitness all at the same time. A particularly challenging avenue for college students is buying a home. In the last couple of years, and especially since the pandemic, home prices have skyrocketed. Due to a limited lack of demand, limited lack of supply, along with inflation, a down payment for a home for a young college student can be simply unattainable with all the other expenses at hand, as well as stifling high interest rates, which make mortgage payments challenging as well. With all these factors in mind, with inflation, with home prices rising, with college tuition as expensive as it is, how can we be financially fit in this uncertain time in the United States? Today, I'm going to go over a method that many of you have heard about, where you can build building blocks to be financially fit within just 4 months. You can probably tell where I'm going with this, and today I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to talk about how summer sales can help you be financially fit in the future. As I talked about, I'm a sales representative of Vivint, and I've learned the building blocks to be able to be financially fit currently and prepare for the future to overcome debt and be able to buy a home. And that's what I'll talk about today. Generate success. How can I generate success? Build resumes. While we're in college, it can be kind of hard to diversify your personal resume. So a lot of us have graduated high school, maybe you've worked a part-time job at a fast food restaurant, at a gym, something small, or maybe you did a summer landscaping, and it can be hard to differentiate yourself from your peers. Maybe your resume looks something like this. I worked at Jimmy John's sandwiches for 2 years. I helped customers. I learned to manage, etc., etc. And that's not a bad start, but it doesn't differentiate yourself. In summer sales, it's a totally different kind of workflow, where you're able to build revenue for a company, and that's something that you can advertise. Let's say in 4 years, you do it every year of college, you bring in revenue to the company, $1.75 million. That would be somewhere average, maybe a little better than average. So you could say, I'm Trevor, I worked for such and such company, sales company. Within 4 years, I brought $1.75 million in the company. On top of that, I built a team of 10 people, and our best summer we brought in, say, $5 or $6 million of revenue. And I can build that same value proposition for your company. That sounds totally different than the Jimmy John's proposition or anything else you have. And that brings value from you to the company. You can help build your resume. How else can I generate success? Establish discipline. At the end of the day, the reason a lot of people don't like summer sales is because it's not fun. A lot of the times, you're in the sun, it's facing you, it's facing the customer. They don't want you to be there, you don't want to be there, and it's challenging. I often hear, I don't want to lose my social life for 4 months. I'm not a talkative person. I'm too uncomfortable to go and sell to people. I don't want to push people, etc., etc., etc. I don't want to be in the heat. And all of those are exactly the reasons that you should do summer sales. Because as you work on those individual aspects of your life, you can turn them into strengths. I often find myself in my hourly jobs, say at Jimmy John's, looking at my watch and saying, okay, I have 2 hours left, then I'm done, I can go home, I can get on Xbox, and it's done. Super unmotivated, just trying to get the hourly paycheck to paycheck, not exciting at all. I find myself, when I'm on the doors, looking at my watch saying, crap, I have 2 hours left, I don't have any sales. I need to walk faster, work harder, work on my pitch. And it turns from unmotivation to motivation. I'm able to better myself. And sometimes you don't get that sale. And then you're at home and you're working on your pitch, you're working on your sales presentation. Where did I go wrong? And all of a sudden you're not counting how many hours you're working. It changes your whole motivation. You're able to build strength. I like to compare it to lifting weights. When we do challenging things in life, it's hard. It beats down on us. It's not desirable a lot of times. Just like lifting weights hurts us. But we can establish discipline and become better. And that's what sales has done for me. Why would you want to generate success? gain wealth. This is pretty simple, but often the most powerful reason you may want to go and do summer sales. Summer sales is all commission based, and the opportunity for revenue and personal income is great. And it depends on your company. On average, a first year sales rep, and this can be debated, but can make somewhere between $20,000 and $40,000 depending on their industry and where they're at. Compare that to, say, if you would go to work an hourly job. The summer is about 17 weeks long with college. If you're making $20 an hour, 40 hours a week, do the math, it's about $13,500. And so even if you're on the low end of averages within the industry, that's $7,000 of additional income just by doing sales. And so ask yourself, all these other objections you have of not doing it, is not knocking doors in the heat worth an additional $7,000? Or maybe you're on the higher end, maybe you made $40,000 your first summer. Is it worth an additional $15,000, all the objections you have? The main reason that summer sales has appeal for me personally is because it allows me to prepare for my future. My plan this summer is to set aside a certain amount of money so that as soon as I want to buy a home, I have the money right there. Say $20,000 or $30,000 in a separate savings account. If I get married and want to buy a home, I have that money right there. And then I'm able to buy a home and afford a mortgage and get ahead financially. Additionally, college tuition, a lot of people have to take out loans or repayment plans or kind of beg their parents for money. With summer sales, usually you can pay your tuition in full and you don't have to go into any debt as you're going to school. Additionally, one thing I love about summer sales, during the school year I generally don't work, besides a training meeting here and there or a recruiting meeting, and so I'm able to put all of my attention into school. And so that doesn't only help me financially, but that helps me with my education, which will in the end help me financially, which is something that I really appreciate about summer sales. So let's summarize. How can you generate success? Build revenues, establish discipline, gain wealth. Generate success.